Storm rorts. The NRL takes unprecedented action against Melbourne for breaching the salary cap.
The elaborate lengths that they went to hide the payments was quite extraordinary.
Storm management duck for cover as their premierships are stripped.
Also tonight, a disabled woman targeted by thugs last week dies in a suspicious house fire.
And the Gold Coast whiz kid facing decades in a US jail.
This is 9 News with Andrew Lofthouse and Melissa Downs.
Good evening. Rugby league and all Australian sport has been rocked tonight by the dramatic decision of the NRL to strip the Melbourne Storm of 2 of its premiership titles. The brutal punishment is over the club's brazen rorting of the salary cap, which has left league bosses shocked. Here are the full details. The club has had its premiership of last year and 2007 stripped from them. They've been forced to hand back $1 million in prize money. They've been fined $500,000. They've been stripped of the 8 points they have this season already, but also have been banned from accruing any other points this year.
With the bombshell delivered in private by the NRL, the Storm management tried to escape out a back door.
You guys salary cap sheets?
And they were in no mood for talking. An hour later, it became clear why they were speechless. David Gallop, confronted with the biggest scandal to hit the game, shocked everyone with the punishment.
The penalty will be the stripping of 3 minor premierships and 2 premierships. The return of $1.1 million in prize money that will be distributed to the other 15 clubs evenly. A fine of $500,000. In the 2010 season, all competition points earned thus far will be taken away, and the team shall not accrue any further points in the 2010 season.
It was almost impossible to comprehend. Never before had a team been stripped of 1 premiership, let alone 2, and this season has also been scuttled. Throw in the $500,000 fine and the prize money of over $1 million, which has to be paid back. It's as harsh as you can get for what can only be described as cheating.
The Storm has engaged in a long-term system of operating what might conveniently be called 2 sets of books.
It allowed them to create a dream team, a star-studded lineup which came at a price. Storm management confessing to secretly paying out $1.7 million over the past 5 years.
The elaborate lengths that they went to hide the payments was quite extraordinary.
The secret files outlining the under-the-table deals were kept in a separate room at the Storm's headquarters, well away from the players' legitimate contracts.
These payments have allowed them to recruit and retain some of the best players in the game. The results of their practices on the field speak for themselves.
The club's owners, media giant News Limited, said it only learnt of the depths of the rorts 3 days ago.
I certainly feel angry. I feel very, very disappointed. And quite frankly, I feel sick in my stomach by it.
John Hartigan said the club had rats in the ranks who'd acted fraudulently, and he wants the police involved.
We have stood down 2 members of the senior management team within Storm.
He also pointed the finger directly at the Storm's former CEO, Brian Waldron, who quit the club earlier this year and went to rugby.
While it's early days, he appears to be the architect of the whole shooting match.
Obviously, on behalf of the club, we'd like to apologise to the Australian people, to rugby league followers and to Melbourne Storm fans.
But the lies and deception has robbed other teams and their fans of premiership glory. Sorry may not be enough. Damien Ryan, 9 News.
Wally Lewis joins us now. Well, are you shocked by the penalty?
Yes, I am, Melissa, but if the message isn't loud and clear now, people running the rugby league clubs certainly need their heads read. The big worry I see is for the future of the game in Melbourne. Now, despite Storm's on-field success, they're really going to struggle after this. And as a former player, it really does disgust me. And I feel very sorry for the boys, but not so their bosses, or in particular, the player managers. I believe it's a very, very sad day for the game indeed.
Yeah, thanks, Wal. Well, Lane Calcutt joins us now from the Broncos. Lane, what's the feeling down there?
Andrew, two words, shock and disbelief, not just here at the Broncos, but right around the rugby league world. Every club and every fan is feeling the same way. It doesn't matter who you speak to, people are simply stunned, not just at the size of the penalty, but also how bad the problem was and how long it had been going on. And they're rightly starting to ask who else is involved and how widespread is the rorting. Andrew?
Lane, thank you.
The grim news is reverberating throughout the NRL. All teams are now on notice that salary cap breaches will not be tolerated, with the Storm a powerful example of what happens to clubs that cheat the system.
Storm players left training stony-faced, but still prepared to sign autographs. The premierships they've worked so hard to win now amount to nothing. And the remainder of this season virtually meaningless.
Disappointing for everyone, but that's other comments that have been made from other people. I'll sort that out.
In AFL Heartland, they'd etched out a following, and now this.
It's a heavy penalty, probably just retrospectively, but in the future it's a massive penalty. To be honest, Melbourne Storm are probably going to need News Limited more than ever to rebuild their credibility.
The scandal, unprecedented in rugby league history, shocking everyone involved with the game.
You know, individually they wouldn't have known what was going on. Cheat's a pretty strong word, but you know, the scale that they've breached the salary cap is very disappointing.
And if the Storm can get away with it for so long, it casts a shadow over the entire code.
Is this happening in every club? Because the suggestions are that, that this could well be going on in just about every team in the competition.
Melbourne's made the last 4 grand finals, winning 2 of them.
He's got it back to Adam Blair. Blair will score.
Beaten in 2007 and 2009, it's Manly and the Eels who can feel the most hard done by. The Storm star players will still get their chances in representative matches, but the premiership ladder looks dramatically different tonight. From 4th place, Melbourne has tumbled to the bottom of the ladder. The benchmark of the competition disgraced, their history virtually wiped out. Amelia Adams, 9 News.
Well, as we heard earlier, news of the Melbourne Storm's long-term salary cap breaches has rocked the NRL. Reporter Lisa Andrews joins us from Melbourne. Well, what's the mood like at Storm headquarters tonight, Lisa?
Well, Wally, it's obviously one of great shock. Everyone can't believe that this has happened, this unprecedented news. But the fan reaction has been a bit mixed. A short time ago, one fan actually came here to Storm headquarters and dropped off all his Storm memorabilia in garbage bags and left it at the front door here and stormed off. While just a short time ago, other fans have arrived here and they've been very supportive of the Storm. Some of them were in tears. They were so upset that this has happened, but they've been supportive and they said that they will support them in whatever they choose to do now. Now, the players themselves, they trained this afternoon, but then straight after that, they went into a meeting. They were in lockdown, and then just after 4 o'clock, they left, and, well, they didn't have much to say at all. They were quite down, a bit dejected, a bit disappointed, but obviously they did not want to comment on what their involvement was or how they found out or if they knew about this, but they obviously said that they were very disappointed. So we're yet to hear what their involvement was, but I'm sure we'll hear about it in coming days and just what the fan reaction will be, if there'll be a backlash at their coming home games or what will happen there. Back to you.
Thanks, Lisa. Well, of course, tonight's footy show will have extensive coverage of this massive issue and what's already being called the darkest day in rugby league. Well, a dreadful day for rugby league, but the show must go on and round 7 is almost upon us. Canterbury host the Broncos tomorrow night at ANZ Stadium, and Brisbane's injury list leaves the Bulldogs as favourites. Parramatta travel to Townsville, where the Eels will be at short odds against the out-of-form Cowboys. On Saturday, the Panthers' home ground advantage will give them the edge over the Tigers, while the Knights should continue the Sharks' woes at Cronulla. The Raiders are always tougher at home, but I'm expecting the Rabbitohs to win on Sunday, with the Dragons to comfortably take care of the Roosters. And despite the disastrous news this afternoon, I'm still backing the Storm to beat the Warriors. And in Monday night footy, it's the Sea Eagles over the Titans.